So guys, today we're talking about digital nomad visa for Canada. Well, a couple of months ago, IRCC had rolled out its tech talent strategy. So that's Canada immigration. They had talked about attracting tech talent to Canada when they had rolled out a couple of open work permits for H-1B holders in the US. At that same time, they had rolled out this digital nomad visa as well. So in this video today, we will be talking about all the details of this digital nomad visa. The kind of clarity that has been provided by IRCC recently will be given in this video as well, and all the details if you want to apply for one for your upcoming trip to Canada. Guys, please be sure to watch the video till the end. My name is Sahil. Guys, welcome back. Once again, my name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice here in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to speak with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of moving to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So guys, we are talking about the digital nomad visa for Canada, which is an important integral part of the Canada's tech talent strategy. They had rolled out this initiative back in the day when they had rolled out open work permits for H-1B holders of US. Now that that particular phase is complete already, IRCC had recently given out clarification on how to apply for a digital nomad visa and basically what to expect at the border and what can happen once you enter Canada. So guys, overall, a basic quick explanation of what exactly is a digital nomad visa is that it is basically a visitor visa for Canada that is aligned towards people who can work as a freelancer or remotely for their existing employers outside Canada. Okay, so say for example, you have an employer or if you are a freelancer outside Canada for an international employer, then out of that you can probably perform your your work or your responsibilities remotely. Then you can apply for this Canadian visitor visa, which is under the category of a digital nomad, although there is no specific category to be selected on the portal. So what you essentially have to be doing is applying for a visitor visa only, and when it comes to the letter of explanation, you should be giving this out, and there are a couple of other details which you should lay out clearly, and a couple of things that will happen at the border with you or probably after that as well. That is all the clarification about, but it is essentially, like I said, it's a visitor visa only that will allow you to stay in Canada for up to 6 months. That will allow you to look for potential Canadian employers as well. So that means you can look for jobs in Canada, and then once you find yourself a job, follow the application for a work permit steps. For example, getting an LMIA or any sort of a permit or any authorization to work in Canada. Then you can convert your visitor visa into a work permit for a Canadian employer. Okay. So broadly, IRCC has clarified that the person or anybody who's coming to Canada on this digital nomad visa or a visitor visa can enter Canada and work remotely and at the same time can seek employment in Canada. However, if the intent to find jobs in Canada is declared at the border in front of the officer, or if the declaration is given out by the person that he or she intends to find a job, then the person must be counseled that the person must start working or would be able to work only once they have attained a Canadian work permit. Otherwise, they are not allowed to work for any Canadian employer. Okay, so they must be approved for a work permit inside Canada. That's the first part you need to understand. Along with the application, when they're applying for their digital nomad category of the visitor status, the person must satisfy the officer that the person will depart from Canada or the person will leave from Canada or will leave Canada before the authorized period of his or her stay comes to an end. Although there are no additional documents per se that are guided by the IRCC overall, but person should provide enough documentation to justify that he or she is able to perform duties remotely for an employer or freelancer or whatever. So the person should be able to justify that he or she is a digital nomad, has no attachment to a workplace overseas. B, the person will be leaving Canada if he or she does not get any work permit here. So that means they will not be overstaying. As long as they're able to justify these two causes, the person is eligible to apply for a digital nomad visa of the category. Another thing to note here is that the family members do not get any status if you are here on a digital nomad visitor status. That means there are no by default open work permits, study permits or work permits. The family, however, can be your dependent applicant as a visitor in Canada only. So say for example you are applying for your own digital nomad category of the visitor status or visitor visa, then your family can accompany you as visitors only, but by default there are no visas. On the other hand, if you apply for your own work permit based on any authorization obtained from a Canadian employer, then obviously your family can be a dependent applicant on that particular application. There is no bar or there is no limitation on that. Until you get that work permit approved, you and your family members will continue to be here on a visitor status, just like visiting any country, and just like you would have been visiting Canada, right? So overall, it's a very good strategy that Canada has adopted in terms of attracting the tech talent. It is a clear sort of understanding that they want people from the tech industry to come to Canada, look for jobs and see potential opportunities here, while they are, working for their employers remotely. So that way they do not lose their time and they have the money and everything to spend here. They can be involved in the local communities as well. For example, going to the remote areas or the other provinces. And if they find the right jobs, they can obtain, LMIAs or other means and methods to obtain a work permit. They can apply for it online, go to the border depending upon what their situation is. But yes, they should apply for a work permit before they join any Canadian employer for work purposes. Guys, I hope the digital nomad visa explanation made sense to you. If you still have any questions, please feel free to schedule a consultation with us. We would be more than happy to speak with you. Once again, we wish you all the best and we really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.